Hello and welcome back to Higurashi Chapter 5 starting. Start of Chapter 5. It's a good night to record. I'm in a good mood. I will say, we're at 89 subs. So we got knocked down. You know, it's a power move. I respect it. But also, I was getting a little too inflated. It's good. It's called baby steps, Aiden. It's like the starts, the Aiden starts slowly but steadily raising to 100. But yeah, rip 90 subs. If you wanted to fluctuate it, then just wait until I'm in like the mid 90s. All right. But it's all right. We're getting an injection in December maybe because of Corpse Party. So it's all about the long con, the stock market, all right. But it was like, oh man, I like recorded, uploaded everything, and just as soon as I did, like all the things, and then it's like drops down, and I'm like, oh, it's over. We're crashing like the Takano stocks. Rico was right all along. But no, I'm just memeing. Anyways, um, yeah, start of December. It's a good month. If you watched the update video, I would recommend it. But also, if you're just watching Higurashi, then you actually don't need to watch it because I literally don't talk about Higurashi at all. There's something I do want to talk about for Higurashi. And I know it's a bit early, but I remember I did say I was gonna play the console arts, and I still do plan on doing it. But I also noticed that they're not translated, and they're not on Steam. So I don't know. It's an ethical question. I'm an ethical gamer. I like to buy my games nowadays, as I used to be pretty unethical. I mean, all the games I've bought or are free on the channel, except for Seiyo no Yuta, but come on, that's the first playthrough. I didn't know any better. But yeah, I mean, the plan will probably be to play it, but if Manga Gamer like says, oh, we're actually gonna be translating these console arts, I'll probably just wait for them to do it and just play on release, because, gotta support the translators, especially Manga Gamer. I don't know their statistics, but I'm just a wild guess. I'm pretty sure Higurashi and Rants are probably like two bid series that help boost the majority of their sales, and funnily enough, I play both of them. So, though technically I haven't played any Manga Gamer Rants, but I've been playing the old stuff. But still, in spirit, as a rant content creator, I appreciate them, even though sometimes their translations are questionable, according to some sources. But yeah, basically, if basically we'll be unethical, and I know you're like Aiden, just buy it from another site and use the patch. It's a good idea, but at the same time, I'm also what you call a safe buyer. I really only like buying from stuff I really trust, and I get pretty nervous about that stuff. So, I always buy my stuff from Amazon, or I always buy my games from like trusted stuff, and I don't know about Japanese sites. I'm just saying, it's a moral conflict, but I probably will just do it unless by the time we get to it, Manga Gamer's like, oh yeah, we'll translate that. Then I'll be a good boy and wait, and then we'll just have to figure out what to do from there. But just a heads up, um, kind of, because again, it's like definitely a couple months away from that point, and like who knows, but just a little Higurashi update, since I literally didn't talk about it at all in the update video. But enough about that. Let's talk about chapter 4. Last session we have Akasaka back in the arc, and I made the comment that you like think this arc is It's already as good as it can get, or at least the world, I mean, for Rika. It just keeps getting better. Akasato's in town. Now, he could be there for a different reason than him just taking a vacation, probably. Maybe working with Oishi to stop the curse murders early, because we do know he eventually tries to stop it when he's older. So it's a good sign. Everything seems good. But if everything seems good, then that means the mastermind must also be in the Mundo. And Takano Oishi both seem pretty happy, pretty nice and good and stuff, but I guarantee you one of them is the mastermind. I'm still locked in on that, so just because they're good doesn't mean they're off the hook in my book. So we'll proceed carefully, but Rita should be pretty confident in the situation she's in. It's good to be cautious, but like Jesus, like how could this possibly be better? But we also kind of got an ominous hint about Rina. Good old Rina. I think she was backstabbing Tepe and trying to fly off when some people came in. And I'm guessing it might be the Sonozakis, and that's how she ended up Sonozaki style killed. I think that's a possibility. I'm not 100% sure though. But we'll see. It also doesn't necessarily match up with to Higurashi the more I think about it, because in this arc Rina kind of got canned by Rena's father early, so that would also imply that in Totoroshi, Rena, or something similar happened where Rena got cut off early. So unless that happened, which there wasn't really any indication of, but it's not like we spent a lot of time with Rena. And also Rena was like super on edge in Totoroshi from what I remember, so I don't know. Let's just get into this. I am like ready. It's a good night. I've been double recording Corpse Party for like a bit. So taking a nice relaxing night. It's good stuff. What's happening? POV? Rika? Feeling a Rika POV. Oh. Schwings? Early Schwings? Jesus. The triple Schwinder. Oh, we're Keiichi. No, we're third person POV. Can only imagine what's happening right now. It was a very humid day. Not even a slight breeze was blowing. It had been an unpleasant summer, one that wasn't only hot but sweltering. So, okay, so this is Rika. There were various articles of clothing hung out to dry in the messy apartment windows, but the lack of wind evoked an impression far removed from coolness. In fact, it only felt more oppressive. There were crooked houses and apartments lining the narrow, twisting road. In addition, there were planters and flower pots, whose contents were beginning to rot, as well as bicycles and cars on the sides of the road, making it even more cramped, more oppressive, and all the more sweltering. Nobody who was in this place at the time was visiting it voluntarily, but in spite of what everyone might expect, a single motorcycle came rolling in. Ooh. Oh, Tepe. Oh no, Tepe's back. Maybe this is the same situation as Totoroshi. I mean, I guess Rina-san could have like got whatever happened to her, like it doesn't have to be like Rena realizing it early. Something just randomly could have happened. But I do think the Sonozakis did kill her at this point. The motorcycle stopped in a two-story apartment, one that could hardly be called neat even as flattery. A man fairly old and wrinkled stepped off. When a nearby housewife handing out the laundry noticed him, she called out, "Oh, this is... You know what this is?" I just realized what this is. Haha. This is the Higurashi opening, where they find, somebody finds the body in the sewage thing, or whatever. I just realized that. Go me. Maybe. I could be wrong. Pretty sure it was a man talking to a woman, so I'm kind of feeling wrong already. It's definitely not Rika vision, as I thought. Maybe. Suddenly I got goosebumps all over my body. I felt like something bad was about to happen for no reason. Everyone gets this feeling in a different way. Some people get a twitch in their eyelids or some kind of movement in their ears. In my case, I get goosebumps. Okay, so it is Rika. Sadoko was supposed to be cooking dinner tonight. We didn't have much inside the refrigerator, so I asked her to go grocery shopping. It's very creaky in here. That's what we call wind pressure on door. I know you guys experienced it in one episode. It's probably super annoying, so I will close my window. And last time I just kind of let it roll, which was probably not the best decision of my life. So I will be a good YouTuber and make the video better. I was watching the TV and relaxing while I waited for her. She was usually back by the time my cartoon was over, after which she'd start cooking dinner. But my cartoon was over, the news had started, and Sadoko wasn't home yet. What is happening? How did this go from this? Oh, I guess they live nearby, but this is like the temple ground. I don't know. Sadoko sometimes waited until they had a sale at the store. In that case, she'd usually come home late. That must be what was happening. It was too early for me to start worrying about her. But I can't explain this feeling. I can't explain it, but I feel extremely worried. Once I started feeling like that, I couldn't just sit in the room and wait for her. Might be Tepe. See, I did say the only person I can really envision going crazy is Keiichi this arc, even though he has been super good, but like Rita's and, or not Rita, Rena's and Shion's problem is like solved at the root, while Keiichi is just doing very good, so it can turn for him. Hanyu's gone. I thought she might know where Sadoko might be, but she's never around when I need her. Hanyu's not with me 24 hours a day. Yeah, she wanders, we know that. She likes to follow people, I assume. She sometimes falls asleep and sometimes goes out for walks. Though in her case, it's not a walk, but more like a stalk. She follows people around when she finds something interesting, and she enjoys observing them. Anyway, I had no choice. I'd have to find Sadoko on my own. I had a good idea of which stores Sadoko goes to. I should check those first. We're in Hinomizawa. If I asked people, they'd tell me where she went.
あれ、リカちゃまでねですかい。ありがたや、ありがたや。
ニパー、それより今日、サトコが買い物に来なかったですか？
サトコちゃんの顔は見てないね。私がずっとお店番してたから、来れば見てるんだけどね。
Feel like she got tepeed, but I'm not sure. I mean, it's my only guess. I didn't even have time to say thanks. I ran to the next store. People were greeting me and waving at me. I'd usually smile and greet them back, but I had no time for that at the moment. Sadoko, Sadoko, Sadoko. I need Sadoko in my life. I was able to survive for so long because of her support. Without her, this world would be so empty and boring. Sadoko is nonchalant and optimistic, unlike me. I've learned so many things from her over the past 100 years. But I still need to learn more from her. Yeah, if Sadoko is dead, which I don't think she is, it would actually just ruin the world. Because one of our goals is to keep everyone alive, at least all the friends. So, we would be bricked already, which I don't think is happening. But something bad might have happened, but I don't think she's dead at least. It's way too early too, right? People stared at me as I ran by them, screaming out her name. I didn't care what they thought though. Sadoko, Sadoko, Sadoko. Why are they looking at me like that? I'm looking for Sadoko. Somebody tell me where she is. Well, it doesn't look dark out, so, but I guess it is later. Maybe I'm just used to the dark because it's pretty much nighttime when it's 5 p.m. right now in Canada. We're in the depressing time. My heart was convulsing inside my body like a fish out of water. What little stamina I have. I hate my body for being so young. I went to a few different places, but I still couldn't find her anywhere. The people I talked to gave me advice on where to go, but I couldn't find her in any of the places they suggested. I continued to run looking for her. I continued to run even when I bumped into people. There are only a few places in Hinamizawa where we can go grocery shopping. It shouldn't be that difficult to find her, so why couldn't I? Wow. I tripped on something in the street and fell flat on the ground. I injured my hand on a small rock embedded in the ground. I didn't feel much pain even though I said ouch. It just felt hot, as if I had touched a frying pan. It's a bad feeling. I know that feeling. Suddenly someone handed me a pretty handkerchief. Oh, it's Rena. Blessed. Help me, Rena. We're on a Sadoko search party. It's also possible that she's literally just doing something and Rita's just over worrying. Hopefully that's the case. Rena was carrying a grocery bag. I've heard that Sadoko bumps into Rena often when she goes grocery shopping. They tend to choose the same stores. That's not good. My brain wasn't getting enough oxygen. It took me a while to understand what Rena was talking about. I understand that Rena didn't see Sadoko, but that wasn't the point. They had a huge sale in the market today. There's no way that Sadoko would miss that sale. But she didn't see her. But she still didn't see her there? What was that supposed to mean? I couldn't find the right words to explain. Should I tell her I feared that something bad happened to Sadoko and that's why I was looking for her? No, I couldn't do that. I couldn't think too deeply about why she hadn't returned home. I knew she was just trying to help me. I even thought I needed someone to help me just a few moments before. But now that she was here, I had no idea what I was supposed to say. No, that's not it. The truth is, I know. Somehow I know. I wouldn't have to know if I was someone else. But I have to know this. Rita Frude has to know what's going on. I know it. I remember it. I knew this was coming. I've experienced a world before where Sadoko suddenly disappeared. But the possibility for that happening is as low as Atasata showing up in Hinamizawa. Interesting. Okay, so this isn't Tepe. This is another high roll, just not in a good way. It only happened randomly in my other lives. This is not the first time. It happened before too. I should see it for myself. I need to see if I gotten stuck inside a devastating world again.
力になるから話して。ごめんなさいです。さよなら。あ、リカちゃん。
I started running. I couldn't pretend like I didn't know where she was. Please don't tell me that I was blessed only up to this point, that I'm about to fall back into my unfortunate fate from here on. I thought that this world was different. I thought I could move on to a happy future. I thought I would be able to defeat my deadly fate in this life. But this was just horrible. It was horrible that this was happening to this world. Dude, I'm tense. I thought this was a meme. This is serious. I was standing in front of the place that I hate most in Hinamizawa. Yes, it's Satoko's real home, the Hojo residence. I had been living with her since last fall, so this house was empty. In the beginning, she used to come back here to pick up her clothing and other necessities. But once she moved most of her stuff to my house, Satoko stayed away from this place. This was a sad place for Sadoko because all she could remember of it was the horrible time she spent with her uncle and aunt, and the memory of her missing brother Satoshi. That's why she never wanted to come back here. But that wasn't the reason I hate the house. It's because I know what happens whenever this house becomes an issue in my life. Oh God, please, please bless me with just one more fortune. I closed my eyes and prayed, then I slowly opened them. The window was open on the second floor. I saw a faded curtain swinging inside. As soon as I saw that, my knees realized what was going on, even before my mind processed it. In the next moment, I lost strength in my legs and collapsed on the ground. I saw an unfamiliar motorcycle parked by the house. It is Tepe. Is Rika referring to that one world to Higurashi? I mean, that was a wild world. So, does it make sense? I also saw laundry and a futon hanging outside. I was certain that someone was living here. It was proof that someone was living inside this house. It's never good when there's someone living inside this house. This was very, very bad. I knew exactly why. I knew why, but I felt like I wanted to act like I didn't know.
Rika? Sadoko!
Satoko went outside to take the futon in and noticed me.
Rika?
Satoko looked down and forced herself to smile. I felt so sad. It wasn't just her expression. I could tell that her left cheek was red and swollen.
Sadoko, こんなとこにいないで、お家へ帰りましょうです。
I took her hand, but she still looked down without squeezing back.
Rika.
Aww, it's the sad Satoko. It's the hardest to look at Satoko. This was my least favorite Satoko in any arc, dude. I already feel sad.
私、今日からこっちの家で暮らそうと思いますの。どうしてなのですか？私のおじさんが帰ってきましたの。それでこっちの家で一緒に暮らそうって話になりまして。聡子はそんなの望んでないはずなのです。意地悪なおじさんなんかと一緒に住んで楽しいはずがないのです。でもどうしようもありませんわ。リカの家へ帰っても連れ戻されるだけですもの。リカに迷惑がかかってしまいますわ。
I feel like the situation is actually like not as hard to solve if it wasn't for like Sadoko willingly like I don't know. I mean maybe she doesn't even want to tough it out this time like into Higurashi, but like if you bring Sadoko home and Tepe tries to like just take her away, I'm pretty sure the villagers would not like that because they're breaking into Rita's home. And again, I feel like we can use some Mion tech or even hey, this is Shion is Satoko pilled in this arc, as we like to say it. So I don't know. I mean, that's the one good thing. We have Shion on our sides for some extra manpower, so potentially it's good. We also have Akasaka. I don't know if he would help us, but like it's a good shot. So it's already looking better than Totoro-Goroshi, but like I said, if this is the Totoro-Goroshi setup, we need to really be careful of Keiichi and try to make him not go crazy if we want to complete Rita's win conditions as we move on. She gave up with a sad smile. She looks exactly how she looked 1 year ago in 1982. Her uncle only slapped her face and she's back to being the Sadoko from 1982. The cheerful Sadoko that I knew until yesterday could no longer be found. I took care of Sadoko and tried to heal her wounded heart for over a year. She finally got her smile back. But her uncle took it all away with just one slap to her face. A broken soul can recover over time, but her damaged heart can never be fixed completely. I just took the broken pieces and put them back together. The cracks in her heart will always be there. That's why she wouldn't come with me, no matter how hard I tried to pull her hand. She couldn't get over the fear. She knew just how scary her uncle could be.
Sadoko, なんでほったらかん。どこ行きよんねん。
Sup, Tepe? It's been a while. Bro, if Rina didn't scam Tepe and try to escape, this would have never happened. But no. Unlucky. I heard a distressing voice from inside the house. Sadoko stared at the ground, her shoulders were shaking. Hey.
Huh?
Sprited Tepe.
なんじゃよ、それは。
He came out and stood right behind her.
なんでもありませんの。お友達と会っただけですのよ。
したらんどうでもええんねん。それよか風呂け、磨かんかい風呂け。わしは風呂に入りたいしちゃったな、こら。
Sadoko scampered back inside the house like a terrified small animal. I feel devastated as I watch her go.
遊びの約束だったかい。すまんの。ちょいと聡子は家の片付けで忙しいんよ。わしは聡子のおじなんねん。ちょっと長いこと出張に出とってん。ようやくひなみ沢に戻ってきたわけなんよ。
Liar. He only showed back up because his lover went missing. In another world, I once let my hatred out on him. Oh? But then he inflicted that anger in equal turnout onto Sadoko. so I couldn't allow the dark flame burning within my chest to reflect in my eyes. Since I couldn't make myself smile and I couldn't insult him, all I could do was give him a short bow and run away from the scene.
なんね、泣く子も黙るわしのガンにビビってもうたんかいね。
I heard his hideous laughter from behind me. I cried as I ran away. I couldn't stop crying. I thought this was my perfect world up until today. It's still, I just want to say, it's still a extremely high-rolled world. I feel like this is possible. Though I guess we do want to rescue her without killing Tepe, which again, I feel like some intimidation tactics might work, but I don't know. Like, get Kasai on the job, dude. We know Tepe is kind of spooked of him. But I couldn't give up yet. I couldn't do anything, but I still had hope for this world. I didn't think the luck I had until yesterday was just a random thing. I went back to my house in a hurry. I needed to make a phone call. I didn't know the number because it was my first time calling the place. I looked inside the phone book and found it easily. I made a call to that number. Shion. It's gonna be Shion. Pretty sure. Shion or Akasaka? Ooh, it's Akasaka. Okay, interesting. That might be the best option because I feel like Shion might just kill Tepe. And that might, okay. Maybe that was a miscalculation because that just might make Shion go crazy. So now both Shion and Keiichi are kind of on the table, huh? Yo, what if this is like the super cursed arc and literally everyone goes crazy? Like Rena, Keiichi, and Shion. Hopefully not. Hopefully we can salvage this with the power of Akasaka. I already knew that Oishi could never save Sadoko based on what I've seen in my previous lives. For him, Sadoko is only a good way to get at the Sonozaki family. Her uncle is probably his prey in that regard too. Even if I talked to him about her situation, he would do nothing to save her. The only thing he'd tell me would to call the child consultation center.
赤坂とお話ししたいのですが、いますですか？
赤坂さんですか？温泉行ってますよ。和倉温泉。
Unlucky. Wakura? That's not anywhere near here. I thought it was staying until the Watanagashi.
なんでも温泉宿をやってる親類にご厄介になれるとかだそうで。いやいや、羨ましいことです。
That's Brit.
え？和倉ですか？石川県ですよ。能登半島。
Bro, it's in another prefecture? What the heck? No way. He told me that he was staying here until Watanagashi. I thought he meant he was staying in Hinamizawa. But did he actually mean this area of the country in general? Did he just mean like he was on vacation? It's a little weird. Why did he like make that little speech where he's like, oh, I'm stronger this time, Rika? Unless like Oishi's lying and he's on like a secret mission with him. It's a possibility. That was a meaningless question. There's no way I could get to him to come here while he's enjoying his trip with his wife. Even if I can talk to him on the phone, he'll probably only tell me to call the child consultation center or something.
お泊まりの旅館は聞いてませんしね。ものすごい高級旅館だって言ってたから、多分某有名なあそこだろうなとは思うんですがね。まあ最近の宿はガードが固いから部屋番号も知ってないと繋いでくれませんしね。
わかりました。もうでも
Oops.
赤坂は渡流しのお祭りに来るとは言ってませんでしたか？
そうです。こちらへは能登への行きと帰りに
Okay,
滞在
so
さ
he
れる
is
んです
coming
よ。
back. Nice.
だから先日も一泊されてくつろがれた後すぐ立たれました。だから 渡流しの直前にまた
Okay.
戻ってきて滞在さ
But
れる
that's
こ
a
となんだ
very tight deadline to solve this issue, Rita.
あなたにお土産を買ってくると言ってましたよ。
How terrible. I thought it was too good to be true. I knew it was kind of strange for him to stay in a boring place like this. My luck seems to be turning. This might not be a surprise, though. Just like I can roll a 6 3 times in a row, I can roll a 1 3 times in a row, too. Happy things and unhappy things can happen with equal probability.
もしもし、何か伝言があるなら会った時に伝えておきますよ。
I looked at the calendar on the wall. I didn't know when he was coming back, but I was certain he wouldn't be for at least one more week. But I wasn't certain he wouldn't be for at least 1 week. I didn't know when he was coming back, but I was certain he wouldn't be for at least 1 more week. Sounds a little funky, but I could be wrong. I thought back to my past to try and remember what happened. That guy will break Sadoko apart in 1 week. I couldn't wait that long. You feel like Irie with his freaking government power would do something too? I wonder what was going on in Higurashi. I don't know. I had to give up on seeking help from Akasaka. Well, that's okay. I still had one more option. One more person I could rely on. I think Shion is risky.
いなければいい
I
の
feel
です
like we asked Takano, though I mean, again, Takano's kind of sus in my book, but
ありがとうですよ、大石。
I think it's technically safer than Shion, because Shion might go crazy.
ニパー。
The sad Nipa. You hate to hear it. I hung up the phone after thanking him. I tried to make a phone call to the next person. I'd have to talk to him in person. Guy. Okay, it's Irie. Probably. Yep, okay. I put my shoes on and headed to the Irie clinic. The clinic's hours were over for the day. There's usually no one here after that. However, since Tomotaki was here, they should still be inside the building for a meeting. They had to be there. The front door of the clinic was locked as I expected. I went around the back door and rang the bell. The whole clinic is nervous when Tomotaki is around. They usually ignore visitors, but I'm special.
どうしましたか?
Okay.
緊急の要件と聞きました。
私まで用とあっては穏やかな話ではなさそうね。
Yuri and Takano showed up soon after I was taken to the visitors' room. If Rika Furude has an emergency, then it's a priority for these two people. I'm the most important person in this village.
ひょっとして例の件ですか? 誰かに狙われているという。
あなたの近辺は常時山犬の中でも特に優秀な連中が警護してくれているわ。あなたとあの日した約束をちゃんと守っているわよ。
I had no doubt about that. We've already seen them last chapter. They saved me right away when we had that confrontation with those 3 delinquents the other day.
いえ、そうではないのです。おね、実は貞子の危機を救ってあげてほしいのです。
貞子ちゃんに何かあったんですか?
Yurei doesn't have that much power alone, even if he really wants to save her. But Takano controls the mountain god, so she does have that power. In my previous lives, I was never able to get help from the mountain gods because I wasn't on good terms with Takano. But this world is different. I have a better relationship with her in this life, and she even kept the promise she made. I trust their ability completely now.
あの北条哲平さんがですか? なんてことでしょう。
It was mainly Satoko's aunt who was abusing her last year, but Irie knows that her uncle was violent with her too. I told them that Sadoko had gone back to the same condition she was in the previous year.
このままではいつ何があるのか分かりませんです。サトコを助け出すために力を貸してほしいのです。
Yuri seemed to want to do something for her, but he didn't know exactly what to do.
こういうのはどうすればいいんでしょう。やはり警察に相談した方がいいでしょうか。
さてどうかしら。現時点では何も起きていないわけでしょう。
そんなのは時間の問題なのです。このままでは大変なことになってしまうのです。
I hate to say that it's only a matter of time. I knew how she was going to get abused and how she was going to end up. I've seen it in the past. I really wanted to tell them about it. But I couldn't do that. As it hasn't happened in this world yet, they just think I was imagining it.
多分こういうのはまず沖宮の生活相談所に訴えるのが先じゃないかしら。
そういえば以前さとこちゃんが児童相談所に虚偽の通報をしたなんてことがありましたね。ちゃんと話を聞いてくれるといいのですが。
The answer is no. My friends contacted the child consultation center several times in the past, but Sadoko always refuses their help. She claims that she isn't being abused. The Sadoko from 1983 might have asked for their help, but currently she was the Sadoko from 1982. For her, living with her uncle reminds her of the time when Satoshi was around. She feels that Satoshi will come back if she can live strongly without always relying on her brother. Even if the child consultation center were to take the case seriously, it's just too late. I tried to remember. In the most recent world I experienced, it only took a few days after Sadoko was kidnapped by her uncle. It only took a few days for him to tear her heart apart. We had no time to waste. We need to take action quickly.
さとこちゃん自身が助けを求めてくれないことには助けようがないのが悔しいです。
入江先生の方から警察やお役所に連絡することもできるとは思うけど、気の毒とは思うけど。違う
のです。違うのです。高野の力でサトコを助け出してほしいのです。
Yuri and Takano looked shocked, and both went quiet. They didn't expect me to seek help from Takano.
それは強硬的な手段に訴えろということですか。
僕はそういうお願いをしに今日ここへ来ていますのです。そうでなければこんな時間に押しかけたりしませんです。
お気持ちはわかります。ですが、
入江、サトコを大事に思うならどうか一生のお願いなのです。サトコを助けてくださいなのです。サトコはあと何日もしないうちに本当にひどいことになってしまいます。それは決まっていることなのです。もうしばらく様子を見てみようでは見殺しにするのと全く同じなのです。入江は去年のサトコをもう忘れてしまったのですか？もうそうなっているのです。今この瞬間にも。そしてあと数日で取り返しのつかないことになってしまうのです。
Damn, dude, I'm feeling this scene. And the music, Jesus. All I could do was stare at him. Believing that Irie could see the future only I knew, the tragic end awaiting Sadoko reflected in my eyes. Irie remained silent for too long, a time to call brief. Someone trying to think of an excuse to avoid the issue wouldn't go silent that long. He was recalling Satoko's terrible state last year, and seriously considering if my plea was as urgent as I made it out to be. I knew that he really cares about her. That's why I need his help.
どうしようかしらね。
Irie nodded and looked up. I guess he finally came to a conclusion. I just hope it's a positive one.
高野さん、
Ooh.
リカちゃんの頼みを
Yo!
聞いてあげてください。
High rolled. Charisma check passed?
去年、貞子ちゃんに何の手も差し伸べられなかった無力さに悩んだことがあります。
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
これはその時傍観して手を尽くさなかった私が罪を滅ぼす唯一のチャンスだと思います。
しかし、そうはおっしゃいますけれど。
Takano didn't think that Irie would make that decision. She seemed shocked to hear his response.
当施設の責任者として正式に高野さんにお願いしたいと思います。聡子ちゃんをどうか助けてあげてください。
入江先生、助けるという言葉がどういう意味か少し分かりかねます。どうか落ち着いてください。
聡子ちゃんは我々にとって欠かすことのできない存在です。これまでも、そしてこれからも我々の研究に最大限貢献するでしょう。本件は高野さんの職務に含まれるものとお察しします。
Irie continued, though Takano tried to persuade him.
所長、入江京介としてお願いいたします。高野さん、どうか聡子ちゃんを救ってください。
I stared into Takano's eyes together with him.
高野も聡子と仲良しだったはずです。どうか聡子の友人として助けてあげてくださいです。
助けてくださいという言い方がお二人とも実に偽善的ね。
You're not telling me to kidnap her and lock her up somewhere safe. You want me to help her so that she can have a normal, happy life.
それはつまり、おじの方を何とかせよというご命令ですわよね。
卑怯な言い方をすれば、妖精に対しどう対処するかを決定する権限が高野さんにあります。でもそれが卑怯ならば、私がはっきりそれを口にしても構いません。
入江先生、いえ、入江所長。そのご命令を実行すれば、私は無論、そして入江所長も責任を問われることになりますが、その覚悟は終わりですか？
I looked at his face. Unlike me, Irie has many things to lose. I knew that Takano's words would shake him emotionally. However, Irie was determined.
構いません。申し開きをする場へ引き出されても、自身の心を裏切るよりはるかにマシです。
左門がどういうものかもご存じないのに、大した虚勢だことで。
高野さんが上手にやってくだされば、東京に知られずに済みます。
True.
それで誰もが円満に決着できませんか？
Huh. I don't know. I was kind of thinking what was happening with Takano and Higurashi, but I don't know. Never mind. So this is completely new for Rika, so I guess you can't really relate it.
リスクばかりで見返りのない仕事ね。
高野が望むなら神社の宝物を他にもたくさん見せてあげますです。もう見せるのを意地悪したりしないです。だから今回だけ助けてほしいのです。
The risk she's taking is larger than the reward I'm offering. But that's about the only thing I can offer. I don't care about the traditions of the Fude Shrine as long as I can save my friend from her suffering.
わかりました。これじゃ私が悪者みたいだものね。
She forced a smile and accepted the favor I asked for her for.
ありがとう、高野さん。
どういう風に助けるかは一任いただきます。具体的なプランは後でお好みと相談します。
Okonogi. Have you heard that name? I don't remember.
後ではダメです。今でないとダメなのです。
She promised to save Sadoko, but she still wasn't motivated for it. It'd be too late if she didn't do something right now. I tried to make Takano understand that this is an urgent matter.
そうですね。リカちゃんも、そして私も、今この場でしっかり納得のいく決着がつくことを願っています。こんな時間にせかして申し訳ありませんが、どうかお願いできませんか。
二人とも、貞子ちゃんのこととなると目の色が違うんだから。
But I like to
わか
see
りました。
Yuri is over here hustling with me.
少し待たせるかもしれませんがお待ちください。
無理を聞いてくれてありがとう。
Well, I think this is definitely doing differently than I thought, huh?
いいえいいえ。私の給与査定者の頼みですもの。笑顔でお引き受けいたしますわ。リカちゃんはさっきの約束、絶対に忘れないでよ。
It's a big
きっ
promise.
となのです。
It's worth it
神
though.
社に来た時はおまんじゅうとお茶もつけますのです。
Takano smiled slightly, and left the room. Once we finally heard her footsteps fade away, the tension in the room dissolved. Irie offered me something to drink, but I refused. He must have thought everything was taken care of, but I couldn't relax until Sadoko was physically returned to me.
いりえ、聡子ですが、お薬とかは大丈夫なのですか？おじは聡子が逃げ出すと思って家から出さないと思いますから、もうここへ来ることはできないと思います。
幸いなことに先週まとめて針と薬を渡してあります。ですのでしばらくは問題ないでしょう。ただ強い精神負担は薬でも抑えきれません。少しずつ追い詰められ、いつか取り返しのつかないことになるでしょう。
そのいつかというのはほんの数日後の話なのです。
Takano hadn't come back yet. I thought it would be bad news if she came back too early, but I started feeling nervous after she had taken so long. Yuri insisted that I go home because it was getting very late. I couldn't go home and relax, however, until I heard from her that everything was taken care of. I had to wait for her to come back. I needed to deal with this tension until then. Over an hour later, Takano finally returned.
お待たせ。
ああ、いかがでしたか？
She was looking for the right words. I got a very bad feeling from her reaction alone.
残念だけど、
Oh.
簡単にいかなくなったわ。
Well,
どうしてですか？
つい最近、沖宮で殺人事件があったらしいの。その事件に何らかの関与があると疑って、北条哲平を警察がマークしてるらしいわね。
事件？何ですかそれは？
間宮とかいう女が園崎家の上納金に手を出して見せしめに殺されたとかなんとか。
okay, confirms Sonozaki.
警察が北条家と園崎家の関係に慎重になったらしいのよ。その女はどうも北条哲平と実婚らしい。綿流しも近いしね。お社様のたたりの5年目をなんとか阻止したい警察が、北条哲平が今年の犠牲者じゃないかとマークして釣り糸を垂らしてるって話みたい。
釣り糸って何なんですか？
北条哲平をマークしてれば、お社様のたたりの真犯人を 釣り上げられると睨んでるのよ。
なんてことだ。では
リカちゃん、本当に申し訳ないんだけど、警察のマークが外れるまで山犬には手の出しようがない。
そんな。山犬の方ならもっと困難な任務でもこなせるでしょうに。
それは入念な準備と計画に基づき、しかるべき機を見ての話です。通常は長い監視期間を設け、その上でタイミングを測ります。
I know I'm totally ignoring the fact that like Takano's literally like a leader of a freaking kill squad or something, but you know, this is a pretty intense scene.
同等の任務なら半年から1年をかけるところです。今更言うことではありませんが、私たちは決して日の当たるところへ出ることができない存在です。日の元へ出たならば灰になる存在なのです。だからマークされ眩しく照らし出された今の状態では近づくことすらできない。
ではいつならその木だと言うんですか。
最も早くて綿流しの後ね。多分綿流しが終われば警察もマークを解くかもしれない。
But that would be too late. She's saying it'd be after the Watanashi. I didn't even know if that was a day after or a year after. She also said it usually takes at least 6 months to prepare this kind of mission. That's too long. I thought this world was different, but that hope was slipping through my fingers.
ではどうすればサトコちゃんを救えると言うんですか。
日の当たる世界では日の当たる世界のルールで解決するのが筋かと思います。例えば警察へ相談する、児童相談所に相談す
Obviously,
る。
the police don't care if they're using Tepe as bait.
差し当たっては学校、警察、あるいは
それは何度もやったけど無駄だった。
Yuri and Takano were surprised. They had never expected me to raise my voice. In fact, I didn't think myself that I would react this way. But I couldn't keep my emotions in check after Takano suggested all those meaningless solutions.
私はお前たちにずっと協力してきた。何の見返りも求めず、ただただこの身を捧げて協力してきた。それなのにどうしてサトコの一人だけが救えないというのか。あれだけの力を持ちながらどうしてサトコを救うことにのみ臆病なのか。何の力にもならない警察や役所、そして利用するだけして何も助けてくれないお前たち。もういい、もういい。私はよくわかった。この世界が袋小路だということがよくわかった。もうお前たちには興味ない。この世界にも未練はない。そうさ、あれだけの幸運に恵まれても結局私はこの運命から逃れられなかった。そうさそうさ、またいつもの運命。お前は山奥で焼かれて死ね。お前は睡眠薬で自ら死ね。そして私は当然のようにまた死のう。どういう殺され方をするのか未だに知らず命を散らそう。ここは運命の袋小路、行き止まり。私は生まれた時から殺されるために生かされている運命の家畜。みんな死ね死ね、みんな死ね。どうせ終わる世界なんだ。消えてしまえ。うわ
ー Oh. I can't put words to my emotions anymore, and I started to cry. I was so lucky up until yesterday. I had so much hope in my heart, but it had all been for nothing. It felt like everything was falling apart. I've lived for more than 100 years. I've lived longer than a normal human lifetime. I thought I was blessed with good fortune for the first time in my life. This would never happen to me again. I thought a miracle had occurred, but everything was shattered. I cried and cursed this world. I need to give up on my life as soon as possible. Sadoko would be waiting for me with a smile in my next one. I wanted to go see her. But what would happen to the Sadoko in this world? What would happen if I abandoned her? I didn't know, and I didn't care. Sadoko, 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 Sadoko. I'm a witch who has lived for 100 years. But I still couldn't rid myself of the human emotions in my heart. I still, like, the major difference, besides everyone's kind of good mental state, like, I still think Ren is pretty clean, but I really feel like Shion, caring for Sadoko, there might be a play in that, and she might just do it herself, honestly. Which might not be a good thing, but I feel like that's probably, like, the only real latch we have left, unless Akasaka comes in clutch, like, the last day. It's possible, but I still don't think the world's as doomed as Rika's making it. But it is definitely it's taking a little tumble. But again, as we learned in especially in the last arc, you want to try asking your friends first. And again, I really feel like Shion would do something. Though I don't know if that's what we want, but you have options left. Don't give up yet, though. She does seem like she's on the brink of giving up, but hopefully she'll get a boost somewhere again. I didn't have anything to eat because Sadoko was supposed to be making dinner tonight. But I didn't have an appetite anyway, so I figured I should just go to bed. I still had to make lunch for the next day, though. Sadoko might come to school tomorrow. I rinsed the rice, hoping that I wouldn't have to waste the lunch that I was making for the two of us. I had to stop thinking like that. I already knew it was a waste of time to make her lunch. I already knew that Sadoko wasn't coming to school ever again. I felt so miserable while rinsing the rice that tears started dropping into it as I thought about her. Why was this happening in this world? I thought everything changed when Keiichi gave the doll to Mion. In that world, Mion pretended to be her sister for a week and got closer to Keiichi. But that wasn't happening this time. I thought we would be having a good time until the festival. Huh? That's odd. Wasn't that club activity 2 weeks before Higurashi? I had realized something. The club activity was exactly the same, but it happened 1 week earlier than in the world I knew of. It was 1 week earlier than in my previous life. I get it now. I thought I was familiar with this world, but it was actually a different one where events are mixed up. That means that even though Keiichi gave the doll to Mion, that didn't solve everything. I thought I was getting lucky. I was confident that everything was going to be okay. I stopped making an effort. Well, that's what I said, don't get complacent. But, you know, I don't think it's dead yet. I knew that there's a possibility that Satoko's uncle was coming back, but I let her go do the grocery shopping. I would have been more careful and kept her home if I knew he was coming back to get her. I should be careful in my next life. But there wouldn't be a next life that was so fortunate. I didn't get lucky that often. Even if I locked Sadoko inside the closet, it would be over if Rena's father messed up something or if Keiichi lost his mind. I have to clear up everything that's not within my reach, and I also have to make the best effort I can. Without that, I can't overcome the fate of 1983. In this life, I may be able to overcome my deadly fate with Takano's help, but Sadoko will not be there in my future. That defeats the whole purpose. My goal is to survive this year while laughing with my best friends. I don't want to sacrifice Sadoko in order to survive. I don't want to live in a world without her. I was blessed with all those fortunes, but I still couldn't defeat my destiny. I ruined everything because I stopped working so hard. I will never again have a lucky life like this. I lost my first and only chance. I cried and scratched at the floor. I didn't know if I should curse my fate or curse myself for not putting forth enough effort. Oh, Hanyu. Before I realized it, Hanyu was standing in front of me. I didn't know how long she had been there. She just stared down at me with a look of pity on her face.
羽生、あんたの言いたいことは分かってる。だから運命に期待するなと言った。でし。期待するななんて酷な話よ。あれだけ全てに恵まれた。サイコロを振る前から6が出ると確信できる世界なんて初めてだった。あれだけの勢いがあればきっと打ち破れると信じた。それでもあんたはあのおもちゃ屋の時からずっと期待しすぎるなと。
She probably felt something strange at the toy store that day. She realized the date was 1 week off and this was not the same old world that I knew. She had realized early on that I still shouldn't be too excited about this life.
僕もリカと一緒にいて短くないのです。だからリカに聞かれると思って先に言いますです。僕にも今日の運命など分かりませんでしたです。ただ僕から助言できるのはただ一つ。この世の運命なんて秋の空より気まぐれで一喜一憂するにも当たらない祭事に過ぎないということなのです。
There's 6 sides on a die. That's the reality of it, and it doesn't mean that 6 is the best number either. I should just take any number that I roll. I shouldn't be disappointed if I roll a 1 a few times in a row. It's pathetic how I thought rolling a 6 was the best result you could obtain.
100年ちょいを生きるくらいじゃそこまで悟るなんて難しいわね。
でもリカ、僕も何度か言いましたが、今回の世界は奇跡ではありませんです。我慢強く待てばきっとまた巡ってくる世界なのです。
我慢強く待てばってそれは何十年後何百年後の話なの。もう私たちには力は残っていない。多分再び世界をやり直しても昭和58年の6月より前へは戻れない。それどころか戻れる時間はどんどん短くなっていく。そんな短い日々を再び奇跡が起こるまでずっとずっと繰り返せというの。数年を繰り返す世界ですら狂ってしまいそうになるというのに、たった 1,2 週間の世界を再び奇跡が起こるまで
It's definitely
永
rougher.
遠に生き続けろというの。
Not as much fun times, I
無理
guess.
よ、無理無理、絶対無理。
I was betting on this world. I bet all my coins on this one world. And I lost. I lost all of my coins to this fate. I have no more coins left in my heart. These coins are known as hope. I have no coins left to hope for my dreams to come true.
リカ、
I lay on the floor as if I collapsed. The floor should have been cold, but I didn't feel anything.
これが希望をすべて打ち砕かれるということね。
I always thought people could survive as long as they had some bread and water. But that's not right. People can't live without hope. People can survive because they believe that something good will happen to them eventually, as long as they keep on living. But that's just for normal people who don't know what awaits them in their future. There's no such hope for a witch like me.
もう何もかもがどうでもいい。この世界だけじゃない。これからの世界も全てどうでもいい。このまま灰になってしまえたら。
リカ、そんなことを言ってはダメなのです。リカ。
Hanya's voice gradually fades away. I slowly lost my senses as I lay down on the kitchen floor and let myself sink into the darkness. Oof. I didn't talk much in the latter half of the chapter because it was pretty heavy. I couldn't really get my thoughts out, huh? You know what? We'll leave that for the intro, I guess. I still think, again, maybe I'm just an optimist, but the fact that Shion likes Sadoko is a big thing. But it also opens up to the door where Shion goes kind of crazy. Ironically for Sadoko, not because she hates Sadoko. And Keiichi can still go crazy. I think Rena's clean, but again, we know the golden rule, which I guess Rika just doesn't know yet, but is to ask friends for help, and then if it's still Brit, then, you know, like they've been saying, always asking your friends help, and that's how you solve problems, and it's a good message, but like in Totoroshi, I mean, Keiichi did that, and he just, it still didn't really end up well for him. He's still kind of, I mean, he asked, and it just didn't work out, right? So obviously, it's not the end-all solution, but I still think there's a chance, you know. Call me what you want. I really was like gonna get hyped for a Takano's killing squad to deal with it, but it's rough. I guess it's even hard for like the Sonozakis now to take action because of the police using Teppei as bait. Thanks, guys, but yeah, it's a rough stuff. I wasn't expecting a heavy episode. Good thing I cleared my schedule for a longer episode too, but it's a good time. Next time, more sad times. Hopefully we'll find a way. At least get a game plan rolling. Give Rita some hope to fight back again. Because again, like she said, this is a very blessed world. Don't just throw it all away just because you fumbled a bit. And by fumbled, I mean Rita didn't fumble, but she didn't do enough to prevent everything, I guess. But yeah, anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you Friday. I mean, I can't even say for the rest of the chapter, because we've been getting double chapter break chapters, so. But that's session Friday. Let's hope things go a little better. And we still have Akasaka's coming the last day. I'm telling you, if anyone can do something, it may be Akasaka. Anyways, thanks for watching. See you later. Good night.